Azure actually stands for Microsoft Platform, the cloud platform, what we call hyperscaler today. There are a couple of hyperscalers in the industry. These are people who build data centers across the world so that organizations, instead of building out their own data center, they don't have to do that. They can very quickly roll out their businesses or business ideas, taking advantage of infrastructures and services and solutions already available all over the world. So Azure is the platform that Microsoft have built out so that customers and individuals can continue to take advantage of services that are available, and then they can spin out or spin off their ideas and turn it to business very efficiently and very effectively. Thank you so much. Okay, so we say that Azure is actually the platform for innovation and a lot of creativity because of what we have in there. Today, we say it's the center for innovation, and that's because Azure is not just, or much more than just a cloud platform. There are hundreds and hundreds of tools and solutions that are available within Azure that customers, individuals can lay their hand on and then begin to train themselves. I don't know whether you're aware that Microsoft's mission is actually to empower every single individual and every organization on the face of the earth to achieve more. And that is what we do today. If you see how we have infused technology into our lifestyle, you can see that we're actually helping people to achieve more, to accomplish more in their day-to-day life. So the Azure in particular, this is the technology platform where we have built out solutions, like I hinted earlier. What is the impact of these to organizations? Very quickly, if I remember what it takes for an organization to say, listen, we need to roll out, let's say, a banking application, or we want to change our CRM, or we want to change our ERP. Normally, you go through processes which includes like procurement process and so on and so forth. Even when you want to buy typical tools for your office environment, you have to provide a PO to the vendor needs to go place order with the distributor go to the manufacturer, and then the chain begins to come back when it's manufactured until it finally gets to you. Sometimes you provision like 6 weeks, 8 weeks, sometimes months before the equipment ultimately reaches the customer, and then you now begin to do what you're actually supposed to do. In this era, we believe that actually, we need to cut out that. So if you have an idea, you can actually go to Azure portal and then spin off services immediately. Okay, within a few minutes, you can actually begin to roll out what you want to do. So we say this is a platform where you can rapidly build out your ideas, turn it to solutions, and go to market very quickly. Also within Azure space, which is really where I'm heading to today, is that we have infused so much AI capabilities into this platform. Okay? We're going to talk a little more about this, but AI is changing the way we engage, the way we do business. And take a typical example. In my portfolio with Microsoft, I cover the African continent. And in East Africa, they have gone a little step ahead of us in the way they consolidate data. They have been able, in the health sector in particular, they've been able to consolidate all the data coming from different hospitals, different countries. And then there's an HMO within this region. This HMO reached out and said, listen, we have 10 people dedicated to servicing brokers, health brokers in the health sector industry. And they attend to like between 1,500 to 2,000 invoices every single day. And then these 10 people need to work 9 to 10 hours every single day to be able to finish this number of invoices. So they took advantage of fast technology, be able to consolidate all that, and then they realized that within 2 hours, the job that would normally take 10 people like 9 hours, they were able to consolidate it. But that's not the story. The story is that they realized that one part of the story was they realized that they were overpaying their invoices by 40%. That's a lot of money they are throwing out. By human error, process error, they were overpaying their brokers. And then because they were in the health sector, they've consolidated patient records, patient medical histories, and so on and so forth. They now infused AI into the whole environment. And guess what they realized? That the source and cause of death among old people, most of their patients, was actually due to wrong medication. With the solution they put in place, AI was able to help them to intervene from the time a medical professional recommends medication for a patient. AI was able to check the patient profile against the medication that was recommended, and then they realized that they can actually now intervene in the health sector and help people to become more alive. So the creativity that people are yearning for today, they can actually take advantage of. The Azure platform is already enabled. Most of these services are in there. There is the one today that is actually becoming very pervasive. It's what we call agentic AI. Let me talk briefly about this. I know I have a few minutes, but let me talk briefly about this. An agent AI actually is like a co-pilot sitting beside you that understands what you do and helps to automate your daily activities. So, of course, there is the adoption of AI for the whole organization, but agentic AI is actually adopting the organization for you as an individual. What do you do where you work? How can technology help you as a person to become more effective at what you do? So this is actually where it is heading to. So it's not just about look at the organization and automate everything, but how do you automate your own process? How do you automate what you do in the organization? How do you become more efficient at what you do within that organization? So the Azure platform helps to amplify clearly the AI adoption by organization. The other part also is how we are helping developers. I'm sure in this audience there are a lot of people who are into development, software development. All the conversation that have been ongoing since yesterday. You hear about agri-tech, you hear about the aerospace, you hear about a whole lot of ventures that people are into. At the horizontal component of the whole thing is that somehow technology needs to be infused into those whole line of business conversations. If it is the supply chain that the lady talked about here, how would they get product from the north back to the south? That supply chain somehow can be automated so that from here you can see what is going on in all the order you have placed in the north, the truck that is conveying them, and then you'll be able to actually forecast how long will it going to take, all things being equal, to get to you, and then how long will it take you to begin to also supply to your own customers. So these are what developers help us to do. They understand the process. Even the agentic conversation I talked about, developers help to understand the business, understand what you do, and then are able to develop AI to assist you at what you do. Within Azure, we have tools. Over 60% of the codes that developers use today are AI generated. The advantage of that is that instead of spending months by developers building thousands and thousands of lines of code, they can actually leverage AI-generated code. And what we are doing today also is that instead of actually writing those complex codes, we use what we call low-code, no-code conversation, meaning that you can actually tell AI in simple English, and then it will help you generate the code and generate the solution that you're looking for. We also have repositories of solutions, codes that are ready to be used by developers. Those who use GitHub, and GitHub is hosted within Azure, and this is also phenomenally changing how developers do their work. They take advantage of GitHub, and then they can ensure that things like security from day one is infused into what they are doing. The other part also is that with AI and with the whole integration going on within the data space, customers, how they engage, how they do business is also fundamentally changing. I was talking with an energy provider in South Africa earlier this week, and I said to the person, I said to this group CTO, I said, what is one thing that you're looking for to take advantage of or to want to see that AI helps you to do? He said he wants to understand how his customers are feeling. And I said, that is very, very important. Because it's not just we trying to do business with you as an individual. We want to see how you are also doing your own business. And the success, if you're successful in the business that you do, then I can actually count that I will be successful. But if you're not successful, if your customers don't like you, then how can I expect my business to grow with you? So there are today what we call AI bots. These are things that go and check, for instance, sentiments. What is people saying about my organization? What is people saying about my MD? What is people saying about different lines of business? And then that way you're able to plan and be able to run your business a lot more faster. So we are helping customers to become more efficient at understanding how their customers are responding and how they do it. The other part, which is always where people are very afraid of AI and technology, is always around security and around compliance and around governance. And I think the good news for you is that we have been around. Most of the players in this space, not just Microsoft, probably have been around for a long time. There are governance models. There are center of excellence templates that have been put in place so that no matter the aspect of use case you want to do, if you ask questions, we can guide you on how to go about it. And I think also that helps you to become more sustainable at what you do. But the most important part is always the understanding that AI projects and digital transformation projects are not just IT projects. So leaders and CEOs and executives in organizations should understand that AI transformations or AI journey is not an IT project. This is because it touches every fabric of the organization, from the leadership to the front-end people. Everyone needs to be plugged into it, otherwise it's never going to work. And also, in that space, when you're going about that kind of big transformation within your organization, it's always important to choose the bit by bit, instead of having to embrace it completely end to end, and then you struggle with actually measuring the outcome out of it. So if you have one piece, you can measure it. Is it successful, not successful? When it's done, you move to the next one. So it's actually done bit by bit. Okay. The other part about cybersecurity, I think a lot of fears around cybersecurity and attacks when you go to the cloud. I will tell you something very important. It's not the era where we feel as though we don't understand what is going on, because the bad actors are also using AI to gain access to corporate organizations. And this is why I believe the best solution also is for you to use AI, to infuse AI as a formidable platform to help you stay on top of what you're doing. It's only AI security solutions that will help you to track threats coming to your organization, that will help to dictate even when you are sleeping, and be able to give you priorities in terms of criticality of those threats that are coming to your organization. So if AI is infused into your security architecture, that helps you to remain on top against all the threats. People also talk about, what is the return on it's very expensive, the ROI, how will I be able to justify it to my organization? What if I tell you that for every $1 you spend on an AI project, the return on it is about between 3.5 to about 3.7, almost 4 times. Think about it from an investment you're making in yourself. Like, we have all these money doublers and so on and so forth, where you go and put 1,000 naira, so you get 5,000 naira in 1 week. But in AI solution, if you invest $1, the guarantee, based on report coming from the likes of Forrester, the likes of Gartner, and all of them, is that the return is about 3.5 minimum, and it can get to 4 or even more. So there's a whole lot of benefit when you actually take the time to invest in yourself. And then the TCO for it, the fact that fundamentally you're moving away from CAPEX investment to OPEX investment, I think that's actually one important thing that gives you an advantage. And then there's a whole lot of model in terms of how you consume, how you provision. We can also look into that to ensure that you have total advantage that you're looking for. I talked about this briefly, and I really want to actually now comment and say, listen, the platforms are available. Azure Space provides those services. There are Azure native environment that developers can tap into. And to the younger ones looking into go into IT, there are a lot of solutions that you can go into. Instead of flipping on your phone from morning till night, you can actually go into those platforms and begin to learn. Like the investment I talked about in AI, that if you invest $1, you're going to make 3.5. If you invest 1 hour in understanding AI, you are actually gaining in time to come. Yesterday, there was a conversation and somebody said, listen, AI is going to take away our jobs. And I said, no, it's not going to take away our jobs. But if you don't train yourself, if you don't get connected to it, you're going to lose your job. Because in the next few years, this will be very fundamental to virtually every of our operation, how we relate. We'll talk about Azure, which is really what I'm talking about today. It looks as though it's somehow far away. It's not far away. Because maybe since you came in here, you have interacted with Azure, but you don't know about it. Maybe the email service you're checking. Maybe the search you're doing. Maybe one thing or the other. Maybe you checked your email using M365 applications. Maybe you did PowerPoint. These are global applications that people are using all over the world, but Azure is the one delivering and making sure that you have access to these applications, ensuring that they remain available 24/7. You wake up in the middle of the night, it's still there for you. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the platform that powers innovation, that powers creativity. So for those who are looking for how to innovate, how to emerge in their business, how to take on the next leap in their direction using technology, you can always count on Microsoft platform. We are here to empower every individual, we're here to empower every organization so that you can do more. The efficiency we bring into organizations today is unparalleled. And at this point, I would like to find out if there's any question. I know that this is probably generic conversation, but fundamental is that every investment you make in IT, okay, today we are looking for over 5 million security experts all over the world. I mean, employment opportunities that are looking for who to fill them. Okay? So every investment you make in yourself is not a wasted investment. You're going to have it in multiple returns. I don't know whether I have opportunity to take questions or so, but thank you so much. That is it from me.